this is Paul Gale from PaulGaleNetwork.com, and thank you for joining me today for video game news. It is December 24th, 2021, and these are the top stories of the day. Before I get into actual news, though, I wanted to say thank you because the year is almost up. It is Christmas Eve now, which, Merry Christmas Eve if you do celebrate. And, we will probably have another episode or so before the year is fully done, but now felt like a good time to say thanks for joining me throughout 2021. We covered quite a bit of stories, had some exclusive content, went over sales a bunch, saw the channel receive some growth, which is pretty cool as we passed 2,500 subscribers, had a good time on Twitter, on PaulGaleNetwork.com itself, of course YouTube, which we are here right now doing well, and whether it's video games or martial arts, there's been positive responses from both sides, and I appreciate it. So thank you again. Merry Christmas Eve. And I thought this was a pretty fitting image. We've got Wario and friends here from Nintendo's Twitter page. They put this up, so I thought, that'll be a nice little backdrop. Now, I should also say, before we actually get into the news topic for today, which isn't really meaty. In fact, it's pretty much sales stuff for the most part. I noticed something, unfortunately, and that is that a video never got uploaded several days ago. I had a nice video discussing the NPD charts that Matt Piscatella over on Twitter from the NPD group put out, and it detailed a lot of what happened in the month of November. Stuff like, Nintendo Switch selling 1.13 million units for the month, PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S barely selling what Nintendo Switch did, so if anything, Nintendo Switch alone outsold the other two combined, just for the United States, of course. But that video didn't get uploaded. Also in that video was PlayStation 5's brand new colored controllers and their shells, so even though I'm not pulling up images of those kind of things now and stretching this video out to be that much longer because that's also old information at this point, I just thought I would share it. So yeah, that happens rarely where I hit upload and then something excuse me sorry, that happens rarely where I hit upload and it didn't end up working. I don't know, timed out, and the original file was since deleted, so unretrievable, and just lost the day. But hopefully you did see my Nintendo Switch on the verge of hitting 100 million, because that's been a really big topic on Twitter and YouTube, and it all started from my Twitter and YouTube and PaulGaleNetwork.com channels. So, pretty cool. Okay, now let's get into actual content. Metroid Dread won Time's Video Game of the Year. This is great news because Time is a big publication. It reaches a pretty solid audience. It's not necessarily known for video game talk, but they do have a video game section, and in this case they listed their top 10, and Metroid Dread won overall best game of 2021. This of course is coming hot on the heels of the Game Awards, in which they won best action adventure game, and multiple outlets are going to release their bests of the year, and I'm sure that Metroid Dread will be on some channels overall best game or best action adventure, best action, and so forth. But to get Time's recognition is pretty cool. The game is also, segue here, it's a lot of Metroid Dread talk in the middle. It's recently climbing up the charts again on the Nintendo Switch eShop. I just made this post the other day saying congratulations to Metroid Dread on once again climbing up the United States eShop charts. Currently 24th place for a game now over 2 months old. Clearly these new Nintendo Switch owners have great taste. Hashtag buy Metroid Dread. And that's getting a pretty good response on Twitter right now with 9 retweets and 168 likes. Maybe more because I haven't clicked this yet. But yeah, 24th place. It was previously out of the top 30 and it has now crept its way back in. Also, physically, on Amazon, it's the 29th currently best selling video game product of this recent, day, last several hours, last couple of days. Amazon updates this page often, one of the top selling games. And it's actually not even 29th, it's the 29th best selling video game product. But video game, you'd have to take out some of these things like cards, and let's actually find out what place is it in terms of games. Okay, so our best selling new and future releases updated hourly. As of this recording right now, it's 9:06 a.m. on the West Coast. Best selling number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's DLC. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So, in addition to the game actually being the 29th best-selling video game product of the day, it's the 23rd best-selling game on Amazon, and that's just physically. It's also pretty neat to see Guardians up here because that's another one of my favorites of this year, and Shin Megami Tensei 5 because that's also one of my favorites for the year. Fantastic RPG. But yeah, I just wanted to give a little bit of an extra shout out to Metroid Dread because a lot of people thought that it would just debut strong, hit the Metroid fans, and just leave. But that's not really the case. You're seeing that it debuted strong. It had a little bit of a tail effect where it kind of drops off. One of the things I discussed in the NPD charts on that video that unfortunately went missing is that Metroid Dread wasn't in the top 20 best-selling games of the month, but it was Nintendo Switch's 11th best-selling game of the month. So a lot of those games in the top 10 are Nintendo's big evergreen titles. A lot of them had received a price drop or two in the month of November, and then here you have Metroid Dread, which managed to be the number 11th best-selling game of November, and without any price drop. Maybe Walmart or a couple of retailers listed it for $55 for a brief minute, But otherwise, it was competing against powerful juggernaut Nintendo IP that are the evergreen titles and at discounts. So yeah, the game did quite well in November. We are now at December 24th. The month is almost up, and it's on its eShop 24th place, Amazon 23rd place if you count Just Games. And I wouldn't be surprised if before the year is up, the game gets pretty close to 3 million. I'm not going to guarantee that, but we know it's over 2.5 already, so maybe it'll be like a 2.6 or something or better, but we'll see. All right, and finally, sometimes I do this on Thursday, sometimes it's on Friday, but we're going to go over the Famitsu Sales Charts for week 51, occupying December 13th through December 19th. Thank you to Chris1964 from the installbaseforum.com forums for putting this chart together. Let's take a look at the top 30. We'll go over the top 10 in detail and maybe go over 11 through 30, kind of scanning it. At 1, though, is Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl for Nintendo Switch, with 116,000 units sold. At 2 is Mario Party Superstars with 60,500. At 3 is Big Brain Academy Brain vs. Brain with 33,700. In 4th place is Minecraft on Nintendo Switch with 29,600. At 5th is Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with 28,000. At 6th is Animal Crossing New Horizons with 27,200. In 7th is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate with 26,400. At 8th is Momotaro Dentetsu with 15,900. At 9th is Pokemon Sword and Shield with 14,200. And at 10th is Ring Fit Adventure for Nintendo Switch with 13,900. You look at this, and this is a breathtaking chart. Games in the 2 to 10 spot all went up over their previous week. Big Brain Academy is a new game that just came out, and it too went up. For some of these games, it's a little bit more understandable because you're looking at older games that still popular but are getting that holiday bump. For a game like Big Brain Academy, though, it's something that just came out. So clearly, its first week to second week, its first week to third week, and etc. drops are going to be greater. So the fact that this game is still new, not quite 1 week old or 2 weeks old, but still pretty new, and went up this week over the previous, is pretty impressive. Yes, it's getting that holiday sales bump, but also it's a strong little game, and I expect that the digital ratio split is going to be higher than most in favor of digital. Maybe digital is not higher than physical, but possibly. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is one of the games that does sell more digitally. It just makes a lot of sense for me personally to have it always on the system. It's a lot of fun. And look at Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, only down 11%. This is another game that is big. Now, it makes more sense, kind of like Big Brain, for Pokemon to not be up necessarily, though Big Brain did it, because Pokemon, debuts with 1 million plus in sales and then it drops. But it's doing very well. Now, if we look at the rest of the top 30, you're going to see something. For the fourth time in 2021, Nintendo Switch has cleared out the top 30. Remember, this only happened in the past in the Famicom era in the late 1980s, 1988, 1989. It's not a record that's been achieved again in 32 years until Nintendo Switch did it this year, a full top 30 sweep, and has now done that 3 more times, totaling for 4 in 2021. 11th place, you got Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury at 12, a new title, Record of Lodoss War. 13th, Pui Pui Molcar. At 14th, Clubhouse Games. 15th, Minecraft Dungeons. Then we've got Super Mario Maker 2, Splatoon 2 plus Octo Expansion, Taiko no Tatsujin, Disney Magical World 2, Fishing Spirits. That's the top 20. And if we continue, Fortnite 21, that's a Minty Legends pack. Death Smiles, Iga Sumiko, The Battle Cats Unite, the regular version of Splatoon 2, Super Mario Odyssey. Some of these games have been out for 4 years, and like in Super Mario Odyssey's case, still selling 5,768 copies physically alone for the week. Awesome. Luigi's Mansion 3, WarioWare Get It Together, Game Builder Garage, and Super Mario Party. Super Mario Party. Yes, Mario Party Superstars is out and selling well. And here you have Super Mario Party with another 4,600 units sold. I can't wait for Nintendo to release their quarter financials on February 3rd of how well they did in this October 1st through December 31st time frame. We're just going to see some massive hardware and software all over the world, and yeah, that's just exciting. Okay, let's continue. Hardware, last but not least. It's unfortunate in some ways, not to start it off negative, but you can see it right here. Nintendo Switch, 176,000. Now, I just called it 200,000 to be safe because I was pretty sure it's not going to hit like 263 like last year. So I said, call it 200. 176 is, a good 90,000 less than 263, but it's also 24,000 less than my estimate. Is it a little bit of market penetration where it's saturated? Where, yeah, Nintendo Switch is still going to sell another, 4 million next year in Japan, another 2.5 million, 1 million after that, boom, boom, boom. But like, has it reached its point of it's no longer going to sell in that mega blockbuster level every week? I don't think that's necessarily the case, because 2022 arguably has a stronger lineup than 2021, especially if everything comes out and doesn't get delayed. You know, we're getting a new Advance Wars. We're starting off the year off hot with Pokemon Legends Arceus. You still got The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 next year, and Bayonetta 3, and Triangle Strategy, plus Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. There's a lot there. You've got Splatoon 3, and that's a huge one, especially for Japan. So the fact that these are all scattered out, DLC for Monster Hunter Rise, I think Japan's going to have quite a few weeks where 2022 is higher than 2021. Maybe it will be lower for the overall year, but yeah, the last several weeks have shown that it's lower than the previous week. For most of 2021, we were ahead of 2020. Then the Nintendo Switch OLED model came out, things were lower for a bit, higher again with OLED, and then now lower. So it could be a point where so many people have it that the amount left can wait. The amount left who want it are saying, you know, I can hold off until a price drop. Maybe I'll wait off till the next system since I already missed this generation for the most part. But we'll see how long Nintendo decides to keep supporting the Nintendo Switch. But it is interesting to see. Then again, this could just be partially wishful thinking, but it could just be stock-related issues. We see that 93,000 of these 176,000 are OLED models. Then we see 46,000 are base Nintendo Switches, and 37,000 are Nintendo Switch Lites. Could Nintendo have not manufactured and pumped out enough to make this higher, to make it like 200,000? Or are those, 200, 250,000 out there and only 176 sold? So they've got 80,000 or so that are just left over chilling on shelves. We don't exactly know all of that. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's a couple of things. One, it's just so many people have the system that their entry point isn't yet. Their entry point might be, okay, when something new and different comes out, like Pokemon Legends Arceus. Their entry level might be when, okay, I'm a big Advance Wars fan. That's when I want to buy it. And we'll still see some good sales, but just right now for the holidays, most people that want it have it. So it could be a combination of that and some stock. We do know that Nintendo had a shift from 25.5 to 24 million worldwide for the fiscal year, so I'm sure that it's partly to blame because it's a decent amount down from last year. And if you look at the last year total now we're almost 300,000 behind. It was 5.678 million, now it's 5.381 million. But still a tremendous success. In the last couple of weeks, we're going to have, like I said, I called it 3 more 200,000 weeks. This was obviously shy. I'll still say roughly 2 more 200,000 weeks now. So if we got 2 more 200,000 weeks, we should be at about 5.7 million for the year. Maybe it'll be under like 5.6, but that's still really solid. PlayStation 5, meanwhile, I reported first last week that PlayStation 5 was going to have stock approximately tenfold, and it looks like it was a little bit under that, but last week was 1,133, and this week was 8,664. So the report that I had saying that it was tenfold was more or less accurate. You're looking at kind of like 8.4 fold, but still very under where Sony probably should be for Japan. I'm sure if they were pumping out 30,000 would be selling. But 8,664 is definitely better. You could look at everything is down from last year except for Xbox Series. PlayStation 5 last year, 17,000. This year, 8,000. 3DS went from 583 to 302. PlayStation 4 went from 10,000 to 61. Xbox Series, however, went from 375 to 2,889. So props to Xbox Series S and X on delivering in that regard. All right, that's going to do it today for Video Game News with PGN. We've got 7 more days of the year, including the 30th, which is a Thursday. So one more guaranteed sales talking day of the year. Maybe we'll have a video that's not a video game news with PGN video, but something else that I do. At the very least, we'll have one more of those video game news days. Maybe we'll have a couple of video game news days. Partly depends on how much there is to talk about, timing and stuff like that with the family, but we've got some more cool stuff on the way. And I won't say it now as a so long, see you next year, but just in case something crazy comes up in the next 7-8 days, and I don't say this now, I hope you all have a happy new year in advance and see you in 2022. But like I said, that's not the official outro. That's just a just in case. I'll see you next week for more video game news with Paul Gale Network, and have a good one, everybody. Merry Christmas Eve. Take it easy. Bye.